NCAA All-American athlete who's turned his love of sports into a life working with others through the medium of sports. Now he's a well-known sports radio host and author who says that it is okay to be crazy. We are delighted this morning to have Sean Adams in studio with us. Sean, I believe that was your quote.
That's my father.
Yes, your father's
It's my father.
quote.
That's the impetus for the book.
Yeah, the impetus for the book. Before we get to the book, which I love the title, It's Okay to Be Crazy. Great title. Let's get to know a little bit about you, because you actually started this, I call it exodus into being an author and a radio host, by being an athlete first. And you were not just an athlete, my friend, but he was an NCAA All-American athlete.
Well,
yes, and not everybody can just be that, Sean, right?
well, I enjoyed it. I was a scholarship athlete. I played football. I ran track and field.
Yeah.
Gregory, I'm giving it up to him.
Yeah,
but,
who's here today? Yeah.
I looked at it and I grew through that, but I really had a life in business. I was a finance and economics undergrad, and I worked for a while. Then I went to graduate school and got my MBA. And worked in corporate for a while, but really just had a passion for sports. I knew I was an ex-athlete.
Yeah.
Who had a strong education and thought I might have a place and a niche maybe to have some effect on some younger guys.
And one of the things that you connected with, Sean, and I thought was so amazing, is that you started to see early on there is a parallel between athletics and life, with how motivated you are, how focused you are, and that's kind of what, you know, the book encompasses. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing every day, because you're in Austin on one of the top-rated radio shows there, doing what? Fulfilling the dream of still doing talking sports.
I am. I get to talk sports. I'm on a show called The Bottom Line with Chip Brown on ESPN Austin, so that's fun, and we get to have a good time there from 1 to 4 every day. But I also get to, because of the sports and because of the business background, I get to work with different corporations around the country. I get to work with different schools and work with their athletic department. So it's real cool. I was a scholarship athlete, so I got to sit in those chairs. So being able to work through the medium of sports with young folks is something that I have a passion for. So it's cool.
And tell me how much you've enjoyed doing that, because I'd imagine when you were an athlete, you remember a time or two people coming in and talking and saying, Sean, this is how you make it and this is how you do. So you probably understand the value of reaching those young people that you go talk to, right?
I think part of it is the under-virtues. My first book, Sports for Life, is about the under-virtues, the determination, the perseverance, the understanding the value of failure, and growing and developing through that to understand that the same things that will make you successful in sports will make you successful in life.
Well, I got to ask you this too, Sean. How did you get all of that? How did the book come about? Because everybody has great ideas about concepts and how things can help other people. But to say, look, I put it all down on paper, I formulated a book, it's going to the publisher, it's going to press. Was that a long journey to have that happen?
It was a long journey to have it happen, but at some point I was speaking before I was writing.
Gotcha.
So I was speaking, and every time I went to speak somewhere, somebody was asking me, why haven't you put this down in a book?
Yeah.
And I finally took one summer and decided to get it done, and that was the first book. And now the second book came along based on my father's quote. And it went on from there, so it's been a good ride.
What is one of the questions that you hear most often from young people, athletes or students or otherwise, when you go speak to them?
Really, it's about empowerment. We live in a society that's based on the negative right now. And I'm a guy that's based on the positive. No's don't really mean much to me.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy that's really going to try to press forward. And, you know, if you tell me no, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. We live in a society that will constantly tell you reasons that you can't do things. And I don't believe in that.
You must have at some point, Sean, just felt like this is inside of me. Did you feel like it was your calling? Because, look, you're former All-American athlete. You could have gone on and done anything you wanted to do. You could have just, you know, been doing your radio show every day. You must have felt like there was something in you that you felt could reach people, not only, you know, athletes, but people in the corporate world. What was that drove you?
You know, I think one of the pieces was I have a business partner, Jeff Ketchum, who told me one time, Sean, you got to get your story out, because I come from a very common background. My father's a bus driver. My mother was a teacher's aide. She's a teacher now.
So regular folk.
I come from regular folk. So common folk, which is about the 80% of the country, common folk. And really, coming out of that commonality, my parents pushed education. My parents pushed rising against adversity, dealing with determination, and my father and mother pushed no excuses. So I'm really about accountability. I'm about responsibility. And if you're going to do that, then I'm responsible for my own success.
Okay. I'm excited to talk to you about this book. We're going to talk to Sean Adams when we come back about his new book, It's Okay to Be Crazy. What does that mean? Are you crazy enough to have everything you've ever wanted? Sean says absolutely. We're going to tell you all about it when we come back.